For decades, the Watchtower Society has been the Patrick Star of the religious community. They have been sitting around sucking their thumb wondering, where's my reward? When am I going to get my reward? While the SpongeBob SquarePantses have been getting the excellent achievement for achievement. But finally, Watchtower has been recognized for all the good they do for the community, for all of the wonderful things that they bring to society. And boy howdy, New York State has even recognized them. And they are giving them a grant for $1 million for their efforts. I wish this was satire, but it's actually not. But it's also a little bit more complicated. Let's get into it.
I'm never gonna get an award because I've never done anything!
Welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally, and today we are looking at a brand new announcement that came out today from Watchtower, where they are giving themselves an old pat on the back for doing some great work. So don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. So let's take a look at this announcement under the global news section. It says this: New York State awards Jehovah's Witnesses for design of Ramapo project residences. Well, boy howdy, Watchtower has designed an award-winning complex in order to make some of their movies. Maybe a little bit more on that later, but let's go one by one. The New York State Energy Research and Development Authority awarded Jehovah's Witnesses a grant of $1 million as part of the Buildings of Excellence competition. The award was for the environmentally friendly design of the Ramapo complex residences. This is the first time a building project in either the town of Ramapo or Rockland County has won the award. This competition has only been around since 2019. So 2019, you can basically throw away. 2020, you can basically throw away again. So it's pretty much because there wasn't that much building projects going on. At least that's how it works in my mind. So it's been around since 2019, 2 years affected majorly by the global pandemic. And then Rockland County, what sort of percentage does that make up of the total population of the state of New York? Well, it's about 1.6%. So we're talking about a very rural area. We're out in the boondocks. we got all country roads and big trucks as far as the eye can see out here. And is it that surprising that a giant complex would be the first one that would be awarded? To me, it's such a nothing burger of, wow, can you believe we're the first one in the entire history of this award? I don't know if it's that special, but remember, this is all about the design, and that's what I'm going to get to here in just a second. So moving on with this article, it says this. Keith Cady, who serves on the construction project committee, states, quote, "In designing the Ramapo complex, our aim has been to lower emissions and utilize clean energy in resilient spaces. We are excited that the state has acknowledged our efforts by granting us this award even before construction has begun. It will be put to good use along with the voluntary donations made by Jehovah's Witnesses." So let's break this statement down into its two main parts here. Did they design, and is it unique that Watchtower got this award before construction even began? So just going over to the main website where all of this is held: smart, inspiring, resilient, sustainable, announcing builders of excellent competition winners. So you see there's 3 rounds of winners. So round 1, winning demonstration projects, they have different categories. There's ones that are post-completion performance optimization, ones that are under construction, late design phase, early design phase, and then same thing with round 2, late design and early design. And then round 3, demonstration products. And if you scroll down and see where Watchtower finds itself right here, you see that they're in that demonstration project. So it's not actually unique or relevant that they received this award before construction began, because that's literally the nature of the award. It's like someone winning an Oscar for Best Actress and be like, oh, being nominated for it, and be like, I can't believe I won Best Actress. I really thought I was going to get sound design. It's like, why would you think you would get sound design? Like, it's just the nature of the award. So it's always hilarious to me when Watchtower decides to pat itself on the back or try and make something sound more interesting and significant than it actually is. Now, remember, this was for the design. The award was for the design. So when we look at Watchtower or their residences at Sterlington, it says it's developed by Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York, but it was designed by Bard Rao plus Athenas Consulting Engineers. So if the award was for design and Watchtower wasn't the one that designed it, are they the ones that actually won the award? And I was a little bit curious about this myself. So I did actually call that engineer and design company, and they were very elusive. They just didn't want to really talk to me. And maybe it's because I don't have any journalistic credentials and I couldn't, feign off being a silly little YouTuber on the other side of the country. They're probably like, well, I don't want to. But I was curious, like, did they get the $1 million or did Watchtower get it? Was it just for the project itself, or did it go to the design company, which isn't? Anyway, I was curious because I thought it would have been absolutely hilarious if it is the case that the design company that Watchtower hired is the one that actually got this award, and they are patting themselves on the back for someone else's work, which really wouldn't be surprising, and it would almost kind of fit the narrative that Watchtower has, where they're just so desperate to seem relevant, to seem like they are the good guys in this anime, when they're just not. At every turn, they just always look cringe and desperate and manipulative and withholding information, no transparency. And it kind of feels like this is the exact same thing. I didn't call Watchtower headquarters. I think my phone numbers have been flagged already. But maybe, hey, if I do an update video to this and I call them and I actually get somewhere, then boy howdy, I will certainly let you guys know. Now, in entering this competition to try and get awarded for their design, their eco-friendly design at the Ramapo Complex compound, Watchtower may have inadvertently made a little bit of a boo-boo here, because they were required to submit how much money, the project costs, which Watchtower doesn't really like to give their members or the public actual real figures about what their expenses are. But Watchtower made a boo-boo, and we are all here for it. So Watchtower submitted that the total project cost was going to be $168 million. $168 million. Now remember, this is an organization that is constantly begging for money. This is an organization that tells people that have taken a vow of poverty, that work full-time for Watchtower and live in these compounds and get like $130 a month for necessary things, tells even those people that they need to donate money to Watchtower, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now we see that they're spending $168 million on this new project. For what? What is the ultimate purpose of this? Well, it's to make more movies, to make more content. And I submit to you the question, is this necessary? When you look at Watchtower's production value that they currently have, would you say that that is insufficient, that that is somehow not enough in order to draw people into the organization? When you sort of position it against other religious communities and their sort of goofy, silly little plays and dramas and Jesus, the documentaries that they make, or they make a movie about Noah or something like that. I'm not talking about like Hollywood level, but just like when a religious organization does that. They seem to be pretty much on par. So why do they need to spend $168 million on this new project? And then there's the big elephant in the room, the big whopper, is Watchtower has this narrative of the end is just around the corner. We had it recently in one of Stephen Lett's morning worship talks that we are in the last part of the last part of the final day of the final part of the last, near the last of the last days. So they are still telling their members that, the end is quite literally months, if not years, a few years away. That is sort of the idea that Jehovah's Witnesses live with. I know when I was a Jehovah's Witness, my entire life, I always thought, hey, the end could come any day now. So it's just, boom, we're right on the cusp of it. And because of that narrative, they have gone out of their way to talk about how people looking for political change or social change really are wasting their time. Watchtower has basically said there's no point in trying to make any changes in Satan's world because the end is just around the corner, and because the problem is Satan and he is a superhuman, he is supernatural, it requires a superhuman or a supernatural solution to that. Now, if you think I'm just being goofy here, well, let's run this clip of Stephen Lett himself quite literally saying this blatantly.
Number one, we can never correct the corruption and injustice of this world by means of political efforts or social movements. That reminds me of the illustration a brother used about trying to get rid of a problem with spider webs, but being unable to get rid of the spider. You knock the webs down. Spider builds them right back. Knock them down, builds them back. You never get rid of the problem. Well, in this illustration, Satan is the spider. And since he's the source of corruption and injustice, as long as he exists, the problem will exist. And little puny humans can't get rid of Satan. He's superhuman. So the solution must also be superhuman. And that's where God's kingdom comes in.
Many experts now put the blame on human activity that has affected the oceans and the climate. So yes, men continue to ruin the earth today, but here's the good news. During the millennium, by means of his kingdom, our wise Creator will undo all the damage done by humans. Everything will function in harmony with Jehovah's principles, and we will learn how to properly care for this beautiful planet. And as we do, everything will be brought back into proper balance, including the climate and the oceans.
So it's shocking to me that Stephen Lett and company can make these ridiculous claims about all of the problems in the world, including climate change, are just, trying to knock down the spider webs, but never getting rid of the spider. And yet, when it comes to maybe getting some cash, the narrative changes dramatically. Hey, we're all about a sustainable future. We need to be community leaders when it comes to responsible, resilient building. This is a big priority for us. It's something our organization very much cares about. Oh, look, boy howdy, we got our $1 million grant because of our using this language. But then they're taking that $1 million and then immediately turning around and saying, hey, people that are trying to change the world for the better, people that are trying to make the world a better place for the next generation to come are foolish, and they're wasting their time. They should really be focused on God's kingdom. But thanks for the cash, you bunch of bozos. I don't know. I find it perplexing that Watchtower can say the things they do, and that the world at large doesn't really have any information or a baseline of what it's like to be a Jehovah's Witness. Because I genuinely wonder if the people that voted on having them win this award would have given that to them if they knew about their blood policy, if they knew about their cover-up of CSA, if they knew about the shunning policy. I mean, all of the people that are going through horrible mental health depression issues because of disfellowshipping. I wonder if they would be so willing to speak in a positive way about this organization that quite literally is ruining people's lives, and on some occasions even taking their lives. It's very perplexing. Anyway, a little bit shorter of a video today, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you're still around, don't forget to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for future content like this. And I will see you next time. Oh wait, that's not the outro anymore. Stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to smile.